Good morning. Welcome to National Flooring Equipment. My name is Dave Bigham. We're going to give everybody just kind of we're going to start slow so everybody can log in and get going so I don't get ahead too much. Today in Denver, Colorado, the weather's beautiful. The skies are blue. Should be about 70 degrees. Perfect spring weather. Grass is growing. Flowers are blooming. It's fantastic. I want to thank everybody that's already on for being here and joining us this morning. Today we're going to kind of talk about National's new A-Series shop blasters, kind of how they're a little bit different, how they've improved over the years, and how these new models can really affect you as a contractor and end user, or even a little bit of the features and benefits we'll touch on. So if you're out talking to a customer, you can talk about some of the value prop that we've built in that'll help you increase your sales, especially if you're going against the competition. I think everybody's here. And let me note too, if you guys have questions, you can chat, and behind the scenes is National's marketing department. Two of the biggest players are VP of Marketing, Connie Hardy, and then Nick Stefanski are on the other side of the camera actually making all this happen. So you guys can chat questions. If there's something specific you want to know, you can chat that up. You also, if you look down at the bottom, I think it's the right of your screen, it has our internet website address for National Flooring Equipment and a phone number. You could call in later if you want to try to grab somebody to have them link you up with me. If you want to have a more detailed conversation, I'm willing to do that at any time. My phone's on 24/7, so it's easy to reach out to me at any time, whether you're in front of a customer or if you are the customer end user. So let's talk a little bit about the A-Series. This is kind of the middle of the road A-Series. I don't have a smaller 110 volt blaster here, and on the other side of the shop we have a 30-inch machine. So one great thing about National Flooring Equipment is we offer a shop blaster for everybody. For a guy doing garages, for guys doing ship decks, for guys doing gigantic, huge industrial buildings. We have machines that'll do 400 square feet an hour. We also have machines that'll do 6,000 square feet an hour of production. So we're going to talk about these because they're kind of middle of the road, so they kind of fit a little bit of everything. And let's talk about some of the features that make these different. How are these different from the shop blasters you've seen in the past? It's kind of like engineers seem to get better at, especially our national engineers seem to get better at understanding what's going on at the job sites and what the needs are for the end user, for the guy that touches this every day. They're easier to maintain. One of the biggest things that I've noticed out of the A-Series through this new design is operation for the operator. So one of the things I really like, you guys, is this handle. So the ergonomics of this, if I'm running this all day, you end up turning this because you can only go 50 feet in one direction, then you go back past the dust collector 50 feet, and you have to come back. So you're moving this all day long as an operator. So to speed you up and to make it more comfortable, this joystick actually swivels. And it was pretty common for a lot of the buttons for your controls, like your overdrive and your reverse and your start your direction, whether it was forward or reverse, was way up here on these panels. They've actually incorporated these into the joystick. So really one-handed, I can drink my Coke and operate this machine. So if I'm on a job site, I've got my big gulp, a hard hat on, I can hold my drink or my phone or whatever's going on, and I can continue to operate this machine because I can really do just about everything right here from these buttons. It's also pretty fun to play with it, and it looks cool, but the real value is that when you're running it all day long, it's super easy to run, and it's easy for the operator to make turns, turn around quicker, get there faster, which is a huge advantage. If anybody's ever walked behind a blaster all day long and they ran this for a couple hours, I guarantee you you'd want to get rid of your old blaster and run this every day. You still have the option of being able to push down and raise up the machine for high spots. You still have your adjustments on the back for your height and on the front. Your amp meters, so you know what your amp draw. They're all illuminated. In the past, they typically were, they just had bouncing meters that were really hard to see in darker situations. I'm sure all of you guys have been on job sites where there's light stands in the corner, basically just blinding you. They're not really lighting up the job. It's hard to see how many amps you're pulling. They've upgraded to where you can see these digitally, so it doesn't matter the job site conditions, whether it's really bright or really, really dark, you can see what you're doing. And you can make those adjustments to your shop valve. There's a lot of other things that have changed. The rebound separators, as far as the air wash systems, have gotten much better. So these machines remove the dust out of the shot and dust stream much better. So the more shot that falls into the hopper and the more dust that gets evacuated into your vacuum or your dust collector means you have less wear parts, because it's the dust that tears up your machine. It's the dust that eats up your blast wheel and your liners. So with the improved air wash separators and with improvements of the vacuums that are on the market to have the vacuums, better CFM, your cost per square foot goes down considerably with the newer series machines, because less wear means less parts, which makes you more profitable, which is fantastic. And I said these are middle of the road. If you guys look at this 96, it weighs about 350 pounds, so it's pretty light for a shot blaster that'll blast 900 square feet an hour. And even if you moved up to the 97, it weighs 450 pounds, but you can do almost 2,000 square feet an hour. So you get your options: 230 single phase, 233 phase. And I want to point out one other huge feature for the 97 that I think is growing this machine in popularity. If I had it lined up straight onto the camera, it's actually leaning over, which means I can run this down the wall, remove one side magnet, and put an edging plate, and I can essentially delete the necessity for a 7-inch grinder and a guy doing edge work, because this gets so close to the wall that most of the time, if you're putting any kind of cove base back down, it's covering up anything that what little bit wasn't prepped anymore. That's a huge feature. Even just as far as running down the wall, this building's a great example. We have external electrical boxes, all kinds of stuff that's sticking out on the wall. Because it leans over, if I'm running it down the wall and the machine's leaning away from the wall, I can get a lot closer to the wall and clear all of those obstacles and obstructions that are in the way. You guys, do we have any questions yet through the chat?
People were just tuning in saying hi, so.
Good morning. Hopefully everybody caught on and is caught up. Thanks for joining us again. We were talking about the ability to edge with this machine. On the 97, that is a huge feature. It's one of my favorite features of this machine, because I've tried to run blasters for many years down walls, and with all the obstructions, you end up doing this the whole time. It slows you down. It creates a lot more hand grinding. Because of the way this leans, I can essentially just get rid of the need for a guy on his hands and knees all day long. That's not a fun job, but it's necessary. The 97 actually helps defeat that. Some of the other features are your height adjustments, much easier to get to. It's out where you can find it and you can get to it with tools. Your motor adjustment for your belt tension nowadays is right where you can see it and get to it. So you don't have to remove a bunch of body parts and panels and access plates. It's designed where I can just take a 9/16 and tighten up my motor, which tightens up the belt, raise the motor, which tightens up your belt. That's actually a nice feature. Or at some time in the far distant future, if you need to replace your belt, it's a lot easier to decrease the tension and the height of the motor, put a new belt on, and raise it right back up. Everything, I want to go back to this handle in case somebody just came back in. Here's your pot switch right here on the handle, your speed control. And this initiates your travel, and then you've got your forward, and then you've got your overdrive. Everything is right where you can get to it, which I think is amazing. And the fact that it pivots, I'm sure you guys hopefully can see this. As an operator, if you guys watch what I'm doing, when I go to turn around, in the old days, you had to walk with the handle like this. Well now, as I'm going to turn around, I can keep walking like this, and because the handle's turning, make my pass, turn back around. I don't end up doing what I call the side shuffle, which is really tedious and slows you down. Doing the side shuffle, we used to call it the national slide shuffle. This eliminates that. If you guys look, I'm still walking toward the camera and I'm controlling the machine, so I'm walking in a forward direction instead of a sideways direction. For ergonomics, that's amazing. That really speeds you up and really helps you out. It's something that I can't imagine thinking up in my head. I'm really thankful for our fantastic engineers that have been out on jobs, watched the guys running it, and have learned from them and said, we need to do this, we need to make these changes. We need to make these improvements for the guys that are using it every day so they get more value and they can get more work done in a shorter amount of time with a lot less effort. And a lot less effort is a huge thing nowadays. Nobody wants to work harder. You guys have all heard the expression, work smarter, not harder. It's not a stupid expression. That, if you're working smarter, not harder with design, that really turns into more profit in your pocket. You can get off the job quicker, your guys are gonna work longer, and that's super important. If you're trying to sell equipment, if you can explain to somebody why this is so much more efficient and more profitable, it makes the sale as a salesman a lot easier. And then once it gets in the hands of the operator, that guy loves it. He's going to want another one because he's going to recognize the value right off the bat. As soon as he turns on and starts running it, he's going to see all these features and benefits. You probably can't see it, but there's the built-in plug on the machine, and there's also a cord and hose management system on both the units. The advantage to that is you can take your cord off your machine, and it's less likely to get damaged. And your cord and hose management is great, so when you go to back up, it tends to move your cord and hose out of the way. It also keeps them attached to the machine. So it's a little bit safer, it's a little better design, and that's something that I've always been a big believer in, is the cord and hose management system. Does anybody have any questions on chat? And in case anybody joined us a little bit later, if you look down on the bottom of your screen, there's the National Flooring Equipment website. There's also the phone number. You guys are welcome to call that phone number if you want to have technical training or want to ask some real specific questions like, can you show us how to remove the liners in the blast wheel? Can you show us how to adjust the height of the machine? Can you show us how to adjust the shop valve? We can do that on a one-on-one basis. Just ask when you call in for my contact information, or anybody in marketing like Nick Stefanski or Connie Hardy. We'll set something up for you and we'll spend some video time actually doing some hands-on maintenance. We can take equipment apart, put it back together. I can show you guys how to put the edge plate on, how to take it off, how to remove your magnets, how to adjust your brushes, how to correctly adjust the height of your machine. We can go over all that. We talk about cord sizes, lengths, the difference between the 96's 230 single phase and the A98 or A97, or even A95 if you guys want to talk about smaller machines or gigantic 30-inch machines. We can have discussions on production, size, weight, power requirements, what's the right tool for the job. If you want to talk about what equipment should I stock or what equipment should I buy for a job, feel free to reach out. And believe you me, I'm not the only expert at National Flooring Equipment. We have a whole list of qualified people, Tom Dunn and Jake Sina and all of our inside cams and our RSMs out in the field. There's so many resources that you guys can reach out and receive additional information or just more training or hands-on training. Just reach out, let us know, and we'll set that up right away for you. I know things are tough out in the world today, and maybe things are going back, but you can always we can always turn on a camera and be here for you until everybody's safe enough where we can get face to face. Any questions? No questions? Thanks for joining. I look forward to seeing you guys every Thursday. If you guys are joining in now, you can come back next Thursday. It'll be a whole new topic. And if you've just caught the end, you certainly can go to YouTube and watch from the beginning shortly once we have it all posted up, which should be pretty quick after this. Thanks again for joining. I look forward to next week.